When I was a kid, I wanted to have a piece of ham. And what I imagined was like this juicy piece of meat we know from comics. So my grandmother, she wanted to make me happy, like grandmothers do, of course. And she went out and came back, and I see it like it was yesterday. She presented me so proudly Elden Ring Nightreign. From Software is a studio I have been able to rely on to produce banger after banger after banger. I mean, they make large RPGs with rich worlds, beautiful lore, great characters, and mainly, of course, very hard and very addictive bosses. I mean, they are the guys that make games that help people overcome depression, and they even made me like a Game Boy game. So I am trembling at the announcement of another RPG epic. And then Uncle Miyazaki comes home and brings, well, this.
Now you know why I was so excited. There you have it. Elden Ring Nightreign is a new co-op action-adventure game.
I'm gonna kill myself!
I originally had no intention of getting Nightreign. I shed a tear over the transformation of my favorite studio into Ubisoft. And life went on. First of all, I am definitely not paying $40 for an asset flip and an obvious cash grab. Second, I don't have friends to play this multiplayer scam with. And third, well, I don't have friends. But because I'm also a FromSoft simpleton and I would suck all of Miyazaki's toes if he asked me to, which I actually consider a more likely scenario than it might seem, I sit here now 40 of our funny European money poorer and one Elden Ring Nightreign richer. So I launched this overpriced piece of crap, ready to ritually spit on it and burn it at the stake, and well, somehow I hated it less than I expected. Elden Ring Nightreign is a co-op Souls-like roguelike for 3 players, because oops, we forgot about a 2-player mode, I guess, and with a hastily thrown together single-player mode, because oops, at the last minute we remembered that our fanbase consists of mainly lonely nerds.
How dare you?
A quick update. Meanwhile, From Software released a patch with a 2-player mode, so that's that. The core of the game consists of roughly 30 to 40 minutes long rounds, during which the group tries to gain enough experience and gear to defeat the final boss, the Night Lord. In practice, this means that at the start of the round, a big bird drops you somewhere on the island of Limveld, and from there on, it's just run, 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 run. There is no time to look around, there is no time to explore, and you'd better hope that your group has someone in it who knows what to do and where they are going. Or that person is you, though I can't speak from experience here. Otherwise, you are pretty much fucked. One of the biggest points of criticism pointed at Nightreign is the absence of voice chat and consequently coordination among random players when you are not playing with friends. But you know what? This is actually one of the best features I could have hoped for. You have to understand, I don't like people in general, and now I'm supposed to talk to them like physically with my mouth? No thanks, I guess. The peak of my communication skills is correcting someone in a comment section on YouTube. And there's another reason I like the idea of not having a voice chat. You know, I love Souls games, but to be honest, I am pretty terrible at them. And so I'm very happy that I cannot hear the yells and curses of my team members after I ruined a very well going run.
Ignorance is bliss.
Now, if you were to believe YouTube videos and reviews, it might be easier to find meaning in the Game of Thrones finale than to complete a single run with random players. In practice, it's a bit less dire. Imagine this. In my very first run with randoms, we managed to successfully complete it, kill the Night Lord, even though in the stress of the pace, wait for it, I did not heal a single time because I couldn't find the healing button during those 40 minutes. The only way I healed was while resting at a grace. It depends on luck, of course. And as soon as you end up in a group where after landing on the island, all 3 players stand like posts in a fence, waiting for someone to take the lead, you know that you'd have more fun watching a Michael Bay movie. Unless, again, you are the person that knows what to do. However, with a good group, communication via map markers works more than well, and frustration is quite rare. And even the solo mode is surprisingly acceptable. The number and placement of enemies which could actually shake hands with Dark Souls 2 make it clear that the game is primarily designed for multiplayer. But Nightreign still gives you enough tools in the solo mode to avoid wanting to rip your nails out. Now, there is a point that makes me want to buy a plane ticket to Japan, find Mrs. Miyazaki Sr., knock on her door, and if she doesn't answer, go buy an overpriced coffee at the nearest Starbucks, come back later, knock again, and tell her in her face that her son cannot make passable platforming sections in his games. Guys, From Software, guys, you have proven times and times again that you do not excel in map traversal or platforming in your games. If there is something Souls games don't positively stand out in, it's terrain movement. Making it one of the core components of your new game takes balls the size of Jar Alexander. Traversing Limveld feels like driving a Segway in Rally Dakar. I really want the name of the person who thought it was a good idea to create these parkour tombstones that we navigate with the coordination of the protagonist from getting over it, while a deadly rain zone collapses around us. For fuck's sake, just put those blue jump streams everywhere, make shortcuts or whatever, I don't know. Just don't do this. But still, the game grows on you. It's like a dirty wet dog you found on a rainy evening on your way from a party. First, you are disgusted, but with every day, every stroke, every meal, you get closer and closer. And with every run, I enjoy Nightreign more and more. And while I could imagine the long-term rewards being better, stronger and more motivating than the relics that are implemented right now, the addiction effect is very strong, especially considering this is FromSoft's first venture of this kind. I can't even imagine how they will rock it with Nightreign 2, but I'm for sure looking forward to it. Have I mentioned already, I love FromSoft games, but the original Elden Ring never actually grew on me. Yes, my playtime is somewhere around 400 hours, and yes, I platinumed the game, but somehow, compared to their other games, something feels missing, or maybe there's something too much. From the initial announcement on, I wasn't quite a fan of the idea of an open-world Souls game. The strength of Souls games, for me anyways, always lay in their compact experience, quality over quantity, and of course, the complex and addictive boss battles. And from my first steps, Elden Ring managed to overwhelm me with its vastness, its landscape stretching beyond the horizon. Oh my! I'm a family man trudging towards 40, my time and attention span are severely limited. Just give me a break. And then there are the bosses I love the most in every Souls game. I always loved learning their movements and patterns in previous games. And yes, I cursed them at times. I hated them at others. And once I even had to make a doctor's appointment because my hand went completely numb from crushing the controller while fighting the Slave Knight Gale. But then Elden Ring came around and introduced a very new kind of enemy. Back in high school, I had a classmate whose brother suffered from hyperactivity. Before you could blink, he was somewhere else, clumbing something new, bouncing around and choking on a flood of words he wanted to spew out all at once. I never thought that 20 years later I would meet this guy again in my new video game. And then again, the DLC came out. And I don't even have words anymore. I'm getting too old for this crap, man. Yes, I consider Elden Ring a better game than anything any other studio has ever made. And my 400 hours prove it, I guess.
What?
But for me, it can be summed up in 2 words. Too fucking much. Okay, that was 3 words, just you get it. When Nightreign was announced, my first thought was that the studio was trying to squeeze even more out of that too fucking much. But alas, 30 hours later, I am enjoying myself more than I ever was during those 400 hours of Elden Ring. Nightreign contains everything that makes Elden Ring exceptional. A beautiful world, but this time compressed into a size I can handle. A satisfying combat system, and frenetic and long boss battles that finally make sense because of the 3-player co-op. After all, there is a difference between one little guy with a sword trying to spank a fighter jet and a team of an archer, mage and a bodybuilder with 2 hammers. Plus, the roguelike system adds to Nightrein's addictiveness. And every run with a new team feels different. So yes, I like Nightreign more than I like Elden Ring. I've said it out loud now. I am already looking forward to Nightreign 2 more than the inevitable Elden Ring 2. And I'm even considering saving up for a Switch 2 for Duskbloods. Though I'm still quite skeptical about it, but that's how I felt about Nightreign 2. And now I'm wondering if it's my game of the year so far. Man, just fuck the parkouring. If you like the video, a like and or subscribe would be appreciated. I will see you in the next one.